Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Yeah, story of my life. Anyway, this isn't one of my nutty videos. Or maybe it is to some, I don't know. This is actually a recipe request. You know who you are. Homemade ranch dressing. And basically, it's simple, easy peasy. If you're using fresh herbs, it doesn't take long for the flavors to marry. You can make it, in the morning, afternoon, and it'll be ready come supper time. But if you're using dry, it's better to let it sit overnight. I've found the flavors need a little bit more time to marry. But I'll probably, being that the dill really hasn't taken off, I'll probably add a little bit of dry into this. But you start with a cup of mayo, and you can make your own mayo if you're ambitious. And I usually measure out about a cup of buttermilk. I don't add it all at once because sometimes it makes it just a little, I don't know why it does this, but sometimes it's just too much, and then other times it's not enough. I'm not really into measuring. Actually, I wouldn't have put this in a cup, but I didn't want to show what kind of buttermilk I was using, and for, I don't know, and just less dishes. But I just eyeball everything usually. But you need some ground peppercorn, and I recommend actually using peppercorn. It's just better than already pre-ground peppercorn. Garlic powder and onion powder. And I usually put that right into the mayo first and start giving it a stir. And actually, you can take this ranch dressing recipe and turn it, I don't know if you've ever had Green Goddess dressing, and basically all it is all this that I've just showed you, and then you have chopped basil and cilantro, and you actually put it in a food processor, and it turns the dressing actually green. And you actually have to use fresh herbs for Green Goddess dressing. So I'm going to set this down while I put this in here. So we got chives, and dill, and fresh parsley. And I cut these out of my backyard. Things are starting to take off, but still early in the season, so I'm gonna get a spoon. And this will last in your refrigerator as long as the expiration on your buttermilk says. A little blurry. Come on, meow. And then you just start adding the buttermilk until you get it to the consistency that you want your ranch. I mean, you can make it more dip-like, more runny, whatever your preference is. This is kind of a recipe that you can play with, to taste, whatever rocks your boat. And I'm not going to add any salt until it sits in the refrigerator, and then I'm going to taste it and see if it even needs it, because sometimes it just doesn't need any salt. There's enough salt in the buttermilk and mayo. Natural salts. Oh, look Lucky liar. Homemade ranch dressing. It doesn't get any easier than that, does it? I want a little more. See what I mean? Sometimes you just don't need a full cup of buttermilk. I mean, I don't like it real runny. And then I usually put it in a mason jar and put it in the refrigerator. And like I said, it'll last as long as the expiration date on your buttermilk. Yum, yum, yum. I'll probably add some more ground peppercorn in there. I like a lot of pepper. And I'll probably put some of my more dried dill, because the dill hasn't really taken off out there yet. That's the recipe, sweetheart.